Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and it's an off week, so that means we're giving you some I can't say non-manga, but non-chapter review-related content. Today, we're going to be talking about the God Knights, Figarland, maybe even some Gorosei talk. We're just here theorizing and chatting it up, having some open table discussion, and I'm joined by the crew as always. We got Verson and Jazz. I'll start off with Verson this week. How you doing, brother?
Yo, how's it going, guys?
Going well. How you doing? Having a good week?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna warn you guys right now. The mosquitoes
Oh,
are
they
trying to
eating
get their
your
last
ass?
bites in. They were more
Mm.
ravenous today when I was cutting the grass than they have been in months. I think it's because since it's about to start getting cold, they're trying to get their last hits in.
Yeah, facts.
Also, watch out because there's been a couple cases of West Nile going around.
Oh,
So
shit.
watch yourself.
all right, definitely got to be careful living here in southern Louisiana. That shit is serious. Bro, I have a fucking eye infection that's not pink eye, but like this one, I don't know if y'all notice, it's swollen. I got like just a fucking eye infection. I got to put drops in it every 4 hours. Shit's crazy. But also joining us, we got Jazz. Jazz, how you doing, brother? With the Demon Slayer Tokiyomi? No, what the fuck is that? Giyu. I forget his last name. Tomioka bonnet.
Something like that. I don't know. It's been a minute since I read Demon Slayer.
Yeah, that shit's ass. Demon Slayer fans, I'm the ending's ass. The
ending is ass. But anyway, I mean, I'm doing good, man. Anytime when the temperature drops, my mood goes up.
But the thing is, don't get too excited. It's gonna get hot again later this week. Like, I wish it would stay cold and just keep the sweaters out.
Hey, look, as long as it's cold for now, I'll worry about the future later.
Hey, Verson, I never got your thoughts on. Did you like the Demon Slayer ending? Okay.
I don't know. Do I think it's like the worst thing in the world? Listen, it's no Attack on Titan, and let me just say that.
Hey, I don't know about that. We'll keep that. Look, I'm still waiting for the episode.
All right,
I'm gonna judge when I see it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're waiting on part 3, Atch 12, 9-2.
Bro, that shit is so
3.
stupid, man. Like, I've never seen someone milk something as much as Attack on Titan has been milking this ending. Like, it has to be
good. It's
like
a stake through the heart.
Like, if it's not good, then that's talk about the slander it's gonna get. But I hope he changed it, because like, if it was bad, then pull a Kubo and just do what you want.
That's the only reason I would imagine they're taking so long.
Oh, letting him get what he want. Damn, you think he's like, raw? No, throw away. This one, no, throw away. Like, having to keep redo it.
You know what the crazy thing is? They probably got the episode done already. They've had the episode done for 10 months.
They just
holding on to it.
Gosh, that's even worse. But also, real quick before we get started with our One Piece stuff, gotta ask, did y'all see the new chapter for My Hero? I know this is not My Hero talk, but I gotta ask these fellas. Me and Verson will be doing a video on that later this weekend. Y'all be able to check that out, because we got to talk about what's going on. Like, oh man, so much stuff. Just transitioning from All Might v All for One to where we are now. It's like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all hating. Y'all hating.
Let me say my piece. I think
since you won't be here this weekend, go ahead.
Let me say my piece. I think that Horikoshi is a good writer when he wants to be. Now, let me preface this by saying that I know what My Hero is. I love My Hero. I read it weekly. But look, man, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I've been reading JJK so much. I don't know. Maybe Gege has been kind of morphing my brain structure. But I ain't gonna lie, I don't like that they playing patty cake with this man's life. Like, I'm just like, dude, either let him go, or just
wait. I think what happened to JJK just got y'all where y'all like, kill this nigga, man. Gojo is gone.
Nah, but you see, the thing about it is there's a way to send somebody off. And when you keep like having to tease it, like when you're just like, I don't know, it's like, bro, just do it.
But
like,
see, okay, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna dive into this, because I know Verson, just seeing his facial reactions probably feels similar to which, and we're gonna be talking about that this weekend. But I liked what happened with old boy coming back, and it's like, yeah, they're the original connection. Like, we're going to save the mentor type figure. Like, Bakugo let All Might down before, couldn't save him in the previous, was the reason why he fought All for One first. It's poetic that he gets to save him this time. He's still gonna die, like, he's just not gonna die.
But it's like, oh yeah,
I feel you though.
I'm gonna let Virgil go.
I feel you though, because I do think it would have been more badass if All Might, when he had the Joker smile and pressed the self-destruct button. I do think if they'd have ended it that way, that'd have been badass. That's also, like,
just before, I'm sorry, Virgil, just before you go, me personally, I just feel like it's supposed to be a passing of the torch type of thing.
Yeah,
I feel like when they keep, and I'm not saying he has to like outright, pass away for this to happen, but it's like when you keep putting it right in front of our faces, like, I don't know, I don't like.
No, that's fair. That's fair. How you feel, V?
So what I will say is, first of all, I don't want to ever hear the term the Three Musketeers or whatever ever again. It was always a gruesome twosome situation.
Yeah.
We already been with what it
That's
was.
so trash, bro, because I do feel like it's the Three Musketeers. Like, he the only one that got his own storyline. But you're right, it's the B plot. Like, it's clearly the B plot, and it's not even close. Like, like they are, and don't get twisted, it's like probably the best B plot going on, I would say, in Shonen Jump right now. Like, it's a damn good B plot, but they're the B plot.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's kind of like a thing. And also the other thing is like, world's angriest toddler refuses to die. And it's like, well,
and I shit on Demon Slayer just a couple minutes ago. Like,
yeah. And I'm like, I don't hate it, but also I turned to my partner who was at one point a way bigger My Hero fan than I am. And I was just like, "You seen this?" And then at first they were like, "What? Who?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's the little guy." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that looks about right."
See,
it wasn't really a pop. It was more of a, okay, yeah,
okay.
That is what one thought would happen.
That is
maybe not at that exact moment, but yeah,
that is the most My Hero reaction I think I've ever heard, because everybody was just like, well, we knew this was gonna happen. Like it was just a matter of time for when it was gonna happen.
And we're gonna dive into this.
Had titties, he'd be dead. But because he has a penis instead, he's alive.
We're gonna dive into this weekend.
Been hanging out with the wrong people. Anyway, all right.
I'm gonna say this, not to cut you off. I was saying that to say my last thing was what I was saying, but there's been so many cool moments. Like Yao Momo with I know I said this last week, or I might have just told y'all this. Yao Momo with the cannons and seeing her power fully utilized, seeing Gentle like as a fully formed human extending what he can do, seeing all these different people that we've been with for so long, like just out there. And it's like, man, they just got to do it the right way. Like, it's just like certain things he's letting fumble. But I do think Shigaraki v. Deku is going to hit hard. And hopefully, if somebody can come in, the Vigilantes dude coming in would get a big pop from the fans. Yeah, like that would be cool. That would be cool.
But I mean, we've talked about it before. It's like he has good ideas, but like him, like, okay, so one of my biggest things, like with this like kind of final arc, was how he kind of shoehorned in that like, discrimination.
Yeah, like, and we haven't gone back
to it. And it was like, not that we haven't even gone back to it, but it's like I would have liked that to be hinted like throughout the story, because those are characters that don't get screen time, and so it's like,
honestly, a good arc would have been him going to school, having a racist kid in the class, and then like having to battle that shit, or showing it's there. But like
even if it was like, you know how like Deku like accepts everybody because he was bullied. Like maybe all the people in class 1A are like dicks to him, and then Deku like, because like Deku's
the first one to accept him. Yeah,
Deku's pretty much like the son to everybody, and like he helps them like evolve and whatever. So I feel like that'd be a good way to tie it in. Now this is no way me saying I can write a better story. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying like that's how I do it.
No, I feel you. He definitely like put that in at certain points and didn't follow through all the way. Like, because he mentioned it when we first met Spinner. He mentioned it again with Spinner a little later. And then it's just like, you never really followed through. Unlike the story we're reviewing today, where Fisher Tiger is felt throughout. The Fishman shit is felt throughout. We know about slaves, and we know who keeps the slaves. the Gorosei. We know who protects the Gorosei, the God Knights, and we know who leads the God Knights. Well, maybe Figarland. Let's get into it. Beautiful transition right there by the boy. Just gotta say. I so this was spurned on by me seeing Jazz's TikTok. I was like, yeah, let's talk about Figarland. And I saw people talking about this, and I'm gonna start it here. Is there a chance that Figarland is what Mihawk was aiming for with World's Greatest Swordsman? I saw a thing of people saying Zoro said, I want to be known throughout the heavens as the world's greatest swordsman. What if that's the heavens Zoro was pertaining to, a la the celestial dragons and that shit, and Figarland was the, the fucking face of it, and then, Mihawk got strong enough, and maybe he knows Shanks is part of that shit, which is why he won't duel Shanks for real with his arm. Just throwing shit out there about trying to figure out what y'all think about Figarland. Do y'all think he has a devil fruit, or is he all hockey based? Where do y'all think? Where do y'all lie with old Fig boy?
So my thing. Oh no, go ahead, Virgin. My bad.
No, go on, Jazz. Go on.
So my thing about Garling is that, like, so normally when you see people in anime or like manga that are like purposefully handicapping themselves to, to make them seem more powerful, there's a lot behind that, and like how he was called the champion and all this stuff. So I guess kind of going back to that, if he's like, so say like he's like the pinnacle of strength for these God Knights, let's just take the Gorosei out of it because they're immortal, whatever. So there's like there's a popular theory going around that, like, I saw this the other day, and it was basically like the reintroduction of like shadows, how you can put like somebody else's shadow into another person. So there was this really cool theory that I saw. I forgot what the dude's name was, but it basically was like, what if like they took the shadows of like Joy Boy's crew, but then
put them
they
in the
put them in
Gorosei?
these God Knights.
Oh, the God Knights. Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean, that could possibly be a thing.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
that.
I'm not mad at that at all. That's how you keep the shit alive, and then you fucking, like, Luffy has to release their souls to finally get to where they gotta go. I like that. How Zoro released Ryuma. I like those ties. Version, how you feeling about the Gorosei and the God Knights? I mean, the
for me, for the
Figarland and the
Figarland
God
thing,
Knights. Yeah.
So for me with Figarland, I think if he was something like the World's Greatest Swordsman or whatever, I think the Gorosei would want people to know about it.
Yeah.
But if anything, they're more secretive. They don't want you to know shit about shit. I'm not saying that he isn't strong and that he isn't probably like pretty strong actually. But as we made jokes about against Mihawk, a little bit to the slander or whatever, how are you going to say the world's strongest swordsman when you never even stepped in a Wano or whatever?
Yeah.
At the same time, though, nobody from Wano seems to have ever stepped up to Mihawk and been worth anything. That's how I feel
no
about
more
whenever
Odins.
it comes to,
yeah. Right.
That's how I kind of feel about with Figarland. It's like, if he ever was the world's strongest swordsman, he never went out and claimed the title. Because remember, the world's strongest swordsman, as far as we know, that is a title that literally originated with Mihawk after him and Shanks had a duel. It is a post facto statement that was given to Mihawk after a Shanks clash, where presumably they either drew out or he won or whatever at the time.
Yeah, something happened.
And it's been on ice ever since because no one can really step to Mihawk. Although, again, as we pointed out, a lot of people don't seem to actually be chasing that goal, except for Zoro and Kuina, I guess, whenever she was little. Maybe
Vista, Tashigi, her bitch ass definitely chasing it, and she just can't reach it.
Look, I'm all for Tashigi slander, but her dream is vastly different. I'm all for Tashigi slander.
But again, I think even with Vista, like, I think he's down to like fight with Shanks or whatever, and I think like that's something he's interested in. But I mean, he's clearly not seeking Mihawk out, like for 1v1s.
That's fair.
Like I think any swordsman who's worth their salt, if they see Mihawk in the area, will do something. But I think it means something different whenever like that's your life goal, that is your stated purpose, and you are literally searching for Mihawk / going through the ends of the earth to fight other swordsmen like Zoro is to do that. I don't think there's anyone currently in One Piece who's even trying to go after that title like Zoro is, and that is at least in some part why Mihawk feels the way he does about him. Is he respects him. And he's like, you're the only person I know with any sort of potential who's even trying to do this. Because keep in mind where One Piece comes, and this will be my last point for now. In the world of One Piece, whenever we first start, we are 20 years after Roger's death. People have already given up on the One Piece. They've already accepted the Yonkos as being where they are. The world has stagnated. I think Mihawk is that way too. He's basically a Yonko who is stagnated in his title. I think people are so scared of Mihawk, they don't even try anymore.
Fair.
Zoro's the
No,
only one who has the balls to be like, I'm coming for Mihawk's head. I'm going to do it.
no, yeah, that's a good point. Now, do you, when it comes to Garling, do we think he has a devil fruit? Do we think he's a hockey man? How do we think he is a combatant?
It's seeming like
Celestial dragons in general never want to eat a fruit. It looks like they have a distaste for it, like it's a filthy, disgusting thing. Because they've had decent devil fruits that they've fed to slaves for fun instead of taking for themselves.
The Gorosei seem to be the exception, and I could see Garling being,
like the only celestial dragon we know who has a fruit is Don Quixote, and that was after he left.
Do we
and
count the Gorosei?
Well, I don't want to jump ship on saying they got devil fruits just yet, because I don't think that's
there's
what it
something.
is. Personally, I don't think that's what it is, but
it's something.
The Gorosei are an outlier. They seem to be basically immortal from what we've seen of St. J. Garcia.
That too.
Doing all this stuff and not aging, so they're a total outlier.
That's fair. I can see him being a hockey man. It makes sense too if he has like supreme hockey. Like dude has like some strong hockey. He's the Gorosei. He's a celestial dragon. He views himself as a god. Like, my hockey's supreme. I don't need this damn devil fruit. I am a god situation.
But see, now that see him having have eaten one, but I think he would have kept it hush hush. I'm willing to bet if he has one, no one else knows about it.
Okay. What you saying, Jazz?
But see, that begs the question, right? I feel like obviously we have not seen the pinnacle of hockey and just fighting in general. But like I'm also just curious on how celestial dragons, for the most part, the ones that we know of, the regular citizens, they don't really seem interested in defending themselves, as they're always protected by the admirals and stuff like that, right? So it's what kind of training does a god knight go through? Because the way the dragon was talking about them, and just from narrative standpoint, we know that dragon is at least top 8. You feel me?
For sure.
So it's for him to be scared of these people, it's what do they have? What do they have tucked? What hockey do they know? What kind of fighting
I would have to,
you know what I'm saying?
So for me, I would have to assume, I know we made the joke of the Flying Six, but I kind of view it as how when we first met CP9, how they were all strong in the sense of they were trained by the government. They're super strong. I would say that the God Knights are, they fall between Admiral and CP0 level strength. You know what I'm saying? I would see them as, they're not Vice Admiral, they're not Yonko commanders, but they're not Yonko or Admiral. They're somewhere in between Yonko Commander 1 and CP0 and Admiral and Yonko. Now, I do think there are outliers like Garling who could maybe at that Admiral level strength. There might be another person, but I see them as how when we first met CP0, how all of CP0 was strong for the most part, rather than the Flying Six, where, because the revolutionaries are pretty strong, and if they're the villains of them, Bello Betty, her power is pretty OP. We saw Morley's a fucking beast in Karasu with his crows, and then we don't know what Lindbergh can do, but you got Sabo, who's the Flame Emperor. It's these guys gotta be strong. Where do you see them? Oh no, go ahead, Jess.
No, wait, what were you about to say?
I was just going to ask person, where does he see about the God Knights?
So yeah, I think the God Knights have to be strong. I will also add the caveat that they are a defensive force. We know that they're not we already have a CIA equivalent in the One Piece world at CP0, and as much as Lucci didn't have the best showing because he was going up against a Yonko, we know that for pretty much anyone else in the verse, Lucci
pretty strong,
really well for himself. At the same time, we also have Sword, who are doing their own thing, although Sword's position right now is kind of ambiguous. They're weird. They're burnt operatives who still act with a will of their own, but still don't directly go against the government. So we needed a defensive force, and that's what the God Knights are. I do think they're strong. I don't think that they are. I don't think Figarland is Admiral equivalent. I
Ooh,
wouldn't be
okay.
surprised if he's not. I wouldn't be surprised if he's about that, but I will just say between the God Knights being introduced late and Im Sama being introduced kind of late, and the Gorosei turning out to have devil fruit powers, if they're all strong, just straight up stronger than the admirals, I think that's kind of weak because the
Okay, so
admirals are people we've gotten to at least somewhat know, and
I wouldn't say that they're strong. I wouldn't say that I think Figarland's stronger than them. I would say if I would have to put it and it's just him, I would say the others are below Admiral level, but about CP0, maybe a little bit above them. I would say Figarland falls. I don't think he's a Kainu strong, but I do think he might be like above Green Bull, above Fujitora, and maybe even above Kizaru. But I think it's just him. And I think it's because of the purpose that he serves. If the theories of everybody saying the scar that Whitebeard felt wasn't from, Roger, the face, is it from Figarland? If he's someone who can scar Whitebeard, that guy's got to be strong. If that theory is correct.
Yeah, I feel like God Valley is the glue to this
a
power
lot of things, yeah.
dilemma, because it's like if Garling was able. Okay, so my thing is like if Garling was able to so say Garling's like an outlier in all this because you have Rox, Roger, Garp, their crews. So it's like Garling is an outlier in all this, and if he jumped into the fray and was able to like hang with these people,
he's up there.
That bumps him up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But also he's older, so we got to also remember that like people like Rayleigh. Well, I mean, shit. Garp hung with a Kiji. What am I saying right now? You know what I'm saying? Like Rayleigh hangs with Kizaru. Like, but they're different though. They're not prime them. Being older takes away. So like being older has to take away from Garling too. But I do see, to your point, Jazz, if he's in God Valley and start mixing up with Rox, Garp, Roger, Whitebeard, that guy's up there, man.
Because realistically, I don't think he'd be helping anybody. He'd just be treating it like it was a game. Because when
getting points,
because when he took out the king, he was like, good handicap. So it doesn't really seem like it seems like he likes to win, but he's always up against people who are like inexperienced.
He might be one to
from
tap
what the
that,
dialogue.
yeah.
So it's like when they pulled up, he probably got bloodthirsty and super happy.
And not just that, but also keep in mind he's been raised by a bunch of squishy little bitches his entire life. You know what I mean? Like, he's basically the toughest kid in his hometown, but also like a rich kid. Like, life cannot be
also
any more on a silver platter than it is for him.
I'm with you on his family, but also to Jazz's point, how were the God Knights trained? Like, was he like out once he took that training? Was he still allowed to have that Celestial Dragon lifestyle, or was he like, getting some serious action and getting some fisticuffs? I think a lot of things about him will be very interesting because we know how Charlos is. Charlos is a straight rich kid pussy. But like, I don't know if Garland's hanging out with Charlos and Charlos like, pops.
The thing about Celestial Dragons is that like most of them are just ignorant to a point where it's like it can't even be reformed. This seems like he knows.
He seems different, yeah. Like
you know what I'm saying? Like like not that like he knows like everything, but like he
seems Doflamingo evil, like
right, like he has like an intact mind. Like he's not just a blubbering idiot, but he's like, I'm an oppressor and I know it.
And I know it and I like it. And I want to be strong to keep oppressing.
He truly wants to wield power, and I will say this is kind of also an interesting thing because Rox attacking the God Knights, attacking the Gorosei and the slaves is a nice, like, there's a reason why this is happening in Egghead. And I think it's to show a parallel of how Garland, I think, is going to be slightly put, maybe not on the back foot, but he's going to be defensive. He's probably going to attack fights he wants, but I don't think he's, and again, maybe this would be a different thing for his character. Maybe he'll even be a little D-ish in that regard. Maybe he'll be different and he'll be one of those types who's going to charge to this side of the battlefield and be like, all right, everybody else stay here on the team, protect them. I fucking guess. I'm going to go look for a real fight. Maybe that's different. I think that's a little bit too D for him. But I think it would be a very fitting and interesting counterpoint to the fact that right now Luffy and co are a little bit on the back foot because they're protecting Vegapunk.
Yeah.
So, I think that's kind of like almost setting up a duality between the two of one is being both of these two different crews are being invaded, but they're completely on the different side.
No, for sure. Now, do we think he put do we think he put Shanks in that chest? Or how do we like? Because we saw those chests. I'm assuming one of them is Kaido's fruit, which Big Mom got there. Can we assume that Shanks was put in there?
I don't know. Maybe he was
I think
swapped.
how Shanks, I think how Shanks got in there is irrelevant to me. I think if Oda wants to go rah 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 super evil villain route and he put Shanks in there, I think that's one way to go about it. If Shanks just crawled in there, I think that would actually be very Luffy of him, because Luffy just ate the fruit because he saw a fruit and he wanted to eat it.
Shanks just crawled in there out of will.
Shenanigans aside, yeah, you know what I mean. I think it would actually show, on some level, the universal nature of kids are kids. They do dumb stuff. They have fun adventures, and also that would kind of mimic how like Uta was found, and probably at least somewhat how Buggy was found. Obviously Uta being, not super canon, but kind of canon aside.
Yeah, no,
I think
he probably
kids in One Piece are very of a type.
The movie always represents something like that ends up happening canon wise. That could just be Shanks, like you said. Like he goes through that situation. All right, what were you gonna say, Jazz? Because I'm gonna transition to ask another question.
I would actually prefer that, because then it shows like how pure and innocent like children are, like you were saying. Because
it doesn't matter if you're a celestial dragon or not. You're as a child, you're innocent.
You're a child. Like it's like when it was when Roger was talking to Garp when he was like, yeah, take care of Ace for me, basically, and he was like, no matter what I did, those aren't the sins of my child, so it's like that's probably where he got that ideology from anyway.
Do we think another Gorosei is on God Valley, or do we think it's just Jay Garcia? Because that's something that I was wondering when we saw him there. I would kind of like it to just be him, TBH.
I think it kind of just has to be him, because it seems like he's the focus.
I think if there are more, they would have showed more.
Okay. It also depends on like what are they doing with these people here for this tournament, because he is the Minister of Science. So like, is he running experiments? Are these experimental beings that are fighting these god knights and these celestial dragons, and they're seeing how their experiments are working? Is there like some form? Finance guy doesn't have to be there. I'm trying to think, could war guy be there perchance? Like, is there any war type situation shit happening here? I don't really know. So it also depends on what's going on at God Valley. But I do kind of only want it to be him. And if it's another one, there has to be a purpose for why they're there, I feel.
The only other one that I feel like could be there is the environmental warrior god, because they say that God Valley has a lot of natural resources. So I feel like that should be his whole deal. What is it? No, it's not Marcus Mars. It's
Mars is the war one. I just remember that because of the Roman shit.
The young Sanji looking one is agriculture, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Is it Jupiter?
Yeah, I think it's Jupiter. Hold on, I just looked it up. Ooh, got the hiccups.
It's so weird that they have names now. Like, yeah, I'm still used to calling them what everybody else calls them.
Jupiter, Sanji daddy or Sanji uncle is the god of agriculture. We got Baron V Nusojuro, probably from Wano, the god of finance. We got the god of justice, Topman Warcury. We got the god of environment. Oh, that is Marcus Mars. Okay. And then the god of science and defense. Oh, he's defense too, Jay Garcia. So that's probably why he's there. Okay. Warcury.
I'm kind of like that way with Jazz, except I'm kind of thinking that he might just be there, one, because it might be easier for Oda. And also, it seems like he's the most willing to fucking go down on the ground. Kind of like, this is going to be a weird pull, but kind of like how Aziraphale and Crowley from Bad Omens, like part of the reason why they're built weird and built kind of wrong is because they're an angel and demon who actually don't mind hanging out on Earth for extended periods of time, whereas everyone else doesn't like it.
Has a problem with it, yeah.
Yeah, and I will also say on top of that, I think it might be him because, to Jazz's point, I think there's something weird with the resources here. Like maybe he's just there to collect samples, or maybe there's something inside this island that might explain the big split. like obviously it can't be
Now, would it be the agriculture homie or the environment homie? Is it would y'all think it's Mars or would y'all think it's Jupiter? I'm gonna just call him Shepard because Jupiter sounds weird. I'm gonna call him Shepard.
Yeah,
yeah.
The hyphen, the hyphen.
The hyphen is it's not a good time. Yeah, we can call him Jupiter because it's not a good time for that. It's never a good time for that.
Or just Peter.
Definitely right now. But yeah, do y'all think Marcus Mars or Peter's gonna be there? Because one
or J. Pete's.
J. Pete's, yeah, we'll go with J. Pete's. Because J. Pete's does agriculture, but Mars is all of the environment.
Well, I mean, it again, like it is possible, but you know, they wouldn't put that panel in there saying like, oh, like one of those slaves from the Buccaneer race is acting up, and then showed Saint J, and then
for sure,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, again,
but no, I'm asking about your resources thing. Which one would you want there out of the two? Because I agree with you. Like, if it's any of them,
I'd say
it's with the resources, but which one?
I'd say environmental, because there's no way you go to an island that looks like it's two hands praying and you don't have an environmental.
So that's the one, just to let people know, that's the one that looks like the Japanese government official, because each of them looks like a different government official. We got Gorbachev, we got Gandhi, and then Marcus Mars is based on a Japanese.
I still can't believe Gandhi's name turned out to be Ethan, of all things.
Ethan Nosu Juro. He got to be tied to Wano though. I like your name is. You're not telling me the whole time we got Zoro Juro, we got all these names with Uro, and the one guy we meet, Ethan, ain't tied to the Wano in some way.
Nah, but see, them colonizers got to Ethan. That's what it was.
And then I rewatching when they talked about opening Wano, he was like, that was smart. They have a smart person over there, because opening it, we would have definitely bombed that place. And it seemed like he knew about it, man. Like, also your name.
He's Asian, dude. Come on.
And he has the Katetsu. The first Katetsu too, so we assume it looks like the Katetsu.
That was his granddaddy's inheritance for whenever he fought a Wanese soldier back in the war. He took the ceremonial sword and was like, "All right, I'm out."
Sounds like a war America fought
in. Maybe a little bit, but yeah, I think it might just be our boy Saint J. Just because I think there might be something going on with the soil, or maybe this might be where they found Uranus, y'all. They might have cracked that bitch open like an egg and Uranus popped out.
Could be.
Who can say? Because we still don't know where that's laying around. We just have a pretty good idea that it's probably in the hands of the world government.
Shoot, that could be
adapted by.
To your point, that could be Uranus's. Roger could have had Uranus's egg on the ship.
We still need an explanation for that big dumb egg.
Yeah, because like, what if Uranus is some form of some big dragon-esque creature, and that's his egg?
Or some big phoenix thing.
Yeah, something. So yeah, who knows? But let's see, what else do I have about God Valley? Do we think Whitebeard switch sides? Or wait, actually, let me ask this: is it a side thing? Because we know of propaganda, we know the world government likes to spin things their own way. Did Rox, Garp, and Roger, maybe oppose what the world government was doing, and they just said that Garp and Roger fought for the world government and fought against Rox? But is that a propaganda thing?
Well, only a few people know that. I like, the thing about us as readers.
Do we think Sengoku was honest to the Marines? That's the question.
No, I think he was being honest. But see, to most of the world, they just think Garp did everything. So it's like very few people in the story actually know that it was Garp and Roger. Like the people who lived through it and the people who knew the people who lived through it.
So you think that's the truth? You think that like it wasn't just Rox, Garp, and Roger, fighting these Celestials?
Right. Like I feel like probably what it was is that like Rox is probably a guy to where like he had good intentions. He just probably went about it the wrong way. And then like that's kind of how it boiled down. Either that, or he can go the complete evil route and be like, yo, I'm here for this.
I'm here to take them crates.
And I'm here to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Which I would actually kind of prefer, because like
me too.
I'm not saying that I don't want Rox to be a good guy, because like I would, with the way that propaganda works, like,
but we need some bad pirates, man. We need Blackbeard's influence.
Right? Like we see a lot of, well, I mean, I'm not gonna say we see a lot of a lot of
peace
good
mains,
pirates.
but we do.
You know what I'm
There's a
saying?
lot of peace main pirates out there in the words.
But
of
there's
Oda.
no way. Well, no, there actually is a way because they were all kind of influenced by Rox's ideology, Kaido, Big Mom, and Whitebeard. But I feel like Whitebeard was like influenced by
Against
Rox's
it.
ideology in like a
Yeah.
negative way. Like he
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, I don't want a family like this. You guys."
I don't
are...
think he liked
Well,
that they were killing each other, like because that was a big rule in his ship. Is like you can't kill your crewmates.
Yeah, I think all the constant betrayal, the stress. Also, let's not kid
Mhm.
ourselves. Rock's minded him killing some kids in front of Whitebeard, and I think
Probably
if there's one
so.
thing that's gonna piss off Whitebeard, it's probably like, listen, I know they're like a bunch of shitty rich kids, but
Oh, for the
that's
switch.
a child.
Yeah, no,
You
you're
know,
right. Yeah, for
like,
the like he might have saw him do some heinous shit. He was like, I can't support this. Like, and he switches sides, or like he
Well, shouldn't
goes
Big
his
Mom
own way.
switch? Well, shouldn't Big Mom switch too if that's the case? Because doesn't she have the?
See, Big
I
Mom.
think
or
Big
maybe
Mom
she's-
is big. The only thing we know about what Big Mom did in God Valley is that her and Kaido were close enough for her to save his life. It's
and
possible
get
that
that fruit,
they
which I
could be
believe is in that
spread.
crate. One
Yeah,
of
like I
the
think it's
treasure chests.
possible
Yeah.
they're spread. I think it's possible they're spread out, and maybe Big Mom and Kaido are together. And at one point, she saves him with the fruit. I don't actually know if she's, but also I don't know. I don't think her or Kaido for that matter. Well, Kaido a little bit differently, but Big Mom I don't think ever really had a lot of love for Zebak. I think she was just like, I want the big bounties. I want to establish myself.
Kaido definitely had.
I can
love
hang
for
with the
him.
Rock's crew.
Yeah.
I don't know about love. I think he respected his power though.
Facts. Like I'm just when I say I mean like I feel like if anybody was fighting next to him or trying to fight next to him, it was Kaido more so than the other two that we know. Also,
Kaido was more so like he was more so like a groupie. Like that like one little weak kid who be around all the popular kids for protection. That was kind of like Kaido. I don't
but
mean
Kaido could
anything bad
actually
about
fight
it. It just
though.
is what it is.
No
Yeah,
facts.
exactly.
Now this
if
turned
anything,
into
Kaido was like, Kaido was like the little brute. He was in ninth grade and they were seniors, but they were like, damn, you're like starting forward material. You can hang with us.
You can play. Yeah, no facts. This turned into a God Valley Garling discussion, which I love. All right, let me ask: do we see Wang Ji? Do we see Shiki? Are we gonna see some of the extra rocks? Are we gonna see Shaki? Confirmed Shaki rocks. Are we gonna see some of this stuff?
I feel like we better.
Because like Oda's just got. If Oda's just God, this is the God Valley flashback, and we see the whole enchilada. I want to see the whole thing, Oda. Come on, give it to me. Hand it over.
Now, or is this the God Valley flashback from Kuma's perspective with starting the Revs? Like, are we going to just see the Rev side of this and not necessarily the pirate side? We save the pirate side for another moment.
I'm okay with that, but I just whose perspective? Like, who do we see that from? Sengoku? Well, no, because we already had a chance to see with Sengoku.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's dead at this point. Like, Garp's missing, Kaido and Big Mom are gone, Whitebeard's gone.
Not unless we see it from the perspective
like
of
Gaban, maybe?
I feel like putting rips out Garp's memories, and that's how we see it. But I mean, that's a stretch. That's a very stretch.
And that's if they have him. That's if they have him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not if Aokiji helped him float on away.
Right. I think he's I hope he's still there for Aokiji's sake, because oh god,
yeah, not, they're gonna get his ass. Yeah, see, you're right. I think Verson is right. I think this might have to be the time where Oda, you just show us the whole kid and caboodle, man. You show us everything. Because if not, I don't know when else you would get it.
It would you would think we would have got it a little bit with Big Mom and Kaido hanging out together. Like they probably talked about it, but we weren't allowed to see it, so it doesn't matter for us.
No fact.
I don't know. Other than that, if we don't get enough of it, then I'm gonna be like, is Rox's corpse sitting around somewhere? We're gonna have to learn the story from Rox himself.
That's what's starting to happen. I'm starting to think this is a Madara situation where, like, whenever we get to Blackbeard, he's our Obito, and we learn it from Rox himself. Like Moria, he got Moria specifically, like you said, Rox's corpse lying somewhere. We put the shadows in him, and like, is this what's happening now? You know what I'm saying?
Rox with Garp shadow in him. That might.
I wasn't even thinking about Garp shadow. I was just saying a shadow in general.
Damn. Yeah, that would be juicy though.
That would be hella juicy. But like, is that if we don't get the whole Rox flashback, I'm with you, Verson. I'm starting to think he's out there somewhere. That's a good bet. That's a good bet. All right, let's do that. Verson, you brought up a good thing to finish up this video. Let's do some God Valley and Figarland bets. Not necessarily a next chapter, but we could do like 2 of them, 2 big ones, or whatever you want to do. All right, and who wants to start us off? I think Verson, if you want to start that one you just said is a damn good one. Or Jazz with the Garp in Rock's shadow thing. Whichever one of y'all want to go first, go ahead.
Okay, small bet, right? Small bet.
Whichever one, whatever you want to do. You got 2 because there's no chapter with this. This is just theory betting.
Hey, Shaqy versus Big Mom, baby.
I just got sick.
I need it.
Why are they gonna fight?
It don't even matter. It's gonna be the only manga chapter not drawn by Oda. It's gonna be drawn by Boichi.
Hey, look at this guy, Verson. Call the horny police. Call them.
And then my big bet is
no one has the baby old devil fruit, Jazz. You can calm down. Right?
Hey man, we don't know the other people on Rox's crew. It might have been there. We don't know.
The slip and slide. The slip and slide fruit.
Look.
Maybe that's why Rayleigh partnered up with Shaqy. She got the slip and slide fruit.
You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Look, she could have the gravel fruit, and I'd still team up with her. All right? Come on. Like a fine wine.
Hey, I don't know about that one, Verson. The gravel grape. Yo, that's hilarious. Hey, but some gravel smooth.
Sandpaper.
Some gravel. Now you pushed it. I was gonna say some gravel is smooth, but
sandpaper.
That's wild. No.
I mean, that's what the Carcussy is lined with. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyway,
last episode we had the 5 fruits of fetish. I mean, no, you remember what I'm talking about, the 5 fruits of fetish. This week we got the fucking Carcussy and sandpaper fruit.
It's not God Valley anymore. It's Gap Valley, baby.
Either way, it's still the G spot.
Oh God!
All right, well, we simply must stop. It is a
Thursday.
It is a Thursday at 8:30.
Finish your bets, Jazz.
Okay, and my serious bet is so with everything that we know that happened at God Valley, I feel like we'll see a flip. We'll actually see Rox try to keep his crew together, then ultimately fail, realizing his actions. However, this does not only affect Rox, this affects a young dragon who is not far away, also fighting on the battlefield.
Okay, I like that. Verson, what you got? Give me your bets.
I don't know if it'll be next chapter, but I do think we will.
Oh no, this is just theory. You don't have to do for next chapter. Yeah. So you're saying we see Shiki?
Yeah, no, just saying. I think we see Shiki in God Valley because at this point I think he's basically canon, and I think Oda is gonna do it just to give us a pop. Let's see, and then I guess if I'm doing a big bet, I think we might see. I'm really curious to see who is the one who puts Kaido in that shape, because like even as a young buck, he's pretty strong.
Yeah, facts.
I really want to. It might end up being Figarland for biting off more than he can chew. Because Kaido, he's a little ballsy. He's a little bit uppity, a little bit. So that might be how.
Saw that guy strike rocks. He goes and strikes and that sort of shit. Yeah, I can see that. All right, my bet, small one. We see Figarland scar Whitebeard, thus connecting the thing to the past of Whitebeard. When I see your face, I think of him, not Rox, not Roger. It's Figarland's face, the red hair. He thinks of Shanks. And then my big bet, my big bet. All right, for God Valley, Dragon sees Figarland killing slaves, thus triggering his emotions. But Garp being Garp, seeing Dragon do that, he like has to like put a stop to it some way of either striking Figarland or something, and realizing why he can't go higher in the Marines, or if not, Garp striking him, Rock strikes him, thus getting Rock's versus Figarland or something along those lines of I'm with Jazz on this. Dragon sees Figarland do something very heinous, and someone, whether that's Rocks, Roger, or Garp, goes in to stop said heinous act, thus triggering the birth of in Dragon's Head of Revolution. All right, well, yeah, hell yeah, fellas. Got the best sense. Oh, what you got?
You know what? Can we actually just like see a whole panel of like everybody at God Valley just jump Figarland? That would be great.
I would love it.
I would love that. Like
look,
you know, it'd be great.
But that's too gay for that. That's a
like,
little too Akatami for.
But you know what? I feel like the only way that would happen is like maybe that's actually how Guinea dies, and like they see Guinea die, right? Assuming
through
she's not
Figarland killing her,
right?
Yeah.
And through Figarland killing her, and then like everybody's, well, not like everybody, but most people are like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, what the fuck? She didn't deserve to die. Yeah, and she's the martyr of this whole situation. I could definitely
because
see
if we're seeing it through Kuma's eyes, I feel like that'd be the best way to see it. I mean, obviously, I just want to see Figarland get jumped, but like at the same time, I feel like that'd be the best way to see that.
To trigger, no, for sure. I'm with you. Him killing that innocent girl who was a slave who didn't do anything wrong. No, facts. All right, fellas, that's the video. Unless you got a final thing, person.
Oh, I was gonna say historically there are a lot of like crusades and like a lot of wars that have started through like child martyrdom. You know, obviously a very touchy subject, and I hope that Oda handles it very respectfully. But you know, like it wouldn't be surprised if like there's like if Guinea is someone who's actually of importance, that she isn't tied to some sort of you know, historical figure or some such. That Oda's probably done a good little bit of work on.
Hey, I'm not mad at that because you're absolutely right.
I will say, by the way, just real quick, a lot of people are theorizing a lot of stuff about the Buccaneer race, and I'm very interested in, you know, like again, their giantism. But again, if Kuma was the last one and Kuma's dad was the second to last one,
there's
the
no
fact
more.
that you guys killed the fact that you guys killed Kuma's dad is some fucked up dumb shit. What were you doing? And I don't know, man. It's just, I know they're like very short sighted. But how did like one of the Gorosei or whatever be like, guys, you can beat him to death if you want or whatever, but like you gotta still leave him alive. There's stuff to do.
Also, for all the people theorizing, like, oh, this person's a Buccaneer. No, brother, sorry. Like we just like Verson just said, they're the last of the race.
I do think there's probably some delusions though, especially.
Sure. But I'm talking about like people saying. There's some people saying like, oh, there's these character over here is this, and no.
Like if I had to explain it in terms, I explain in Dragon Ball Z terms, like how they still have Saiyans and then they have half Saiyans, but then you have somebody like Pan who's like a fourth Saiyan, so you can't really like say that she's a full Saiyan. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can get down with that for people like Big Mom, maybe like a Whitebeard.
Well, I don't know. Whitebeard and Kuma have the same like ball chin thing going on, so.
That's what I'm saying. Like Whitebeard could be that I would get down with it.
Yeah, I also think it's possible that maybe like Big Mom is like an evolutionary throwback where somewhere super along the way she had like giant's blood or whatever, and then like in her generation it's just like, because you know you can be like related to someone or whatever, and then for generations you won't see it. But then you'll get like a photo of like a great grandpa or whatever, and then it's like, oh,
see that? Yeah.
You didn't look like your dad or your mom, but it turns out you look exactly like your grandfather or whatever from the year 1895. You know, just weird shit.
For sure. All right, well, hell yeah, fellas. All right, well, that's pretty much everything. Jazz, tell the people where they can follow you at on social media.
You can follow me on Instagram, Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on Twitter, Real Jazzy Boy. You can follow me on TikTok, Cornell D God.
Y'all make sure y'all go follow Jazzverse and tell the people where they can follow you at on social media.
Yo, guys, what's up? So you can follow me at Verse and the Vassal on Twitter, or you can follow me at Verse and the Vassal on Instagram, or you can use my actual name, Joshua Toskler, on either one of those sites. I have a Blue Sky code. I haven't set it up yet. I don't know if I'm going to bother with it, but I'm at least going to like park a spot on it.
If you get an extra one, toss it to me. I've been trying to get on Blue Sky for a couple months now.
Yeah, I'll do that. You know, I'll get you a couple, one for you, one for the show.
Fuck yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I'm kind of chilling. I got an event that I'm doing this weekend, but it's just from Broussard, so whatever. And I have like 2 more
Tell
events
people
coming
where it's
out.
at. People can go out and see it in Broussard.
Okay. There's a private little retreat that's happening in Broussard. If you want, I think we're having like a little thing at Louisiana where you can meet a lot of people in environmental activism for Louisiana Against False Solutions. And also I'm having a community meeting on November 16th out in Vinton, Louisiana. There's some pipelines that are coming through. We want to make sure that people aren't getting scammed, that they know what happens whenever you sign your land away to a pipeline if you decide to do so. And if you don't, we're going to make sure that you have lawyers on staff who can fight for you and make sure you can keep your land.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. If you live in Vinton, make sure you follow Verson to get up to date on that event that's coming up. And if you are in the Broussard area and want to be a part of that, and go head out to Louisiana and make sure you follow him to stay up to date with all that. Follow Jazz. You can follow me at LinBWT. Follow Bros and they got Bros Who Think to keep up with all the stuff with the network. But for Jazz, for Verson, my name is Lyndon. We'll be back with another One Piece video soon. Also for the My Hero video, be sure to check that out over the weekend. But until then, have a good one and peace.